Good Wednesday morning, Blocksters. I'm still waking up. I'm sorry. My sleep lately has been weird. Even though I'm pretty sure I've been getting enough sleep, I just feel very exhausted when I first wake up. So, pull up a cup of coffee and let's have a chat. As you guys know, we the Hensons are doing our due diligence to get our ducks in a row to move to Colorado. Um, right now, we're in the middle of trying to clean up get the house cleaned out so we can, this is what's going to Colorado, this is what's going into yard sale, this pile is we're going to take it to Colorado, but we don't know if we're going to need it, so we're just taking it just in case. My mom wants to get rid of all her bedroom furniture and just get new furniture. I don't know why. That furniture that she has in her bedroom is, well, it's 52, 53 years old and it survived a lot. But I think she wants to get rid of it because, weight wise, it's basically pure mahogany wood. You can't get anything better nowadays. Nowadays, it's either slap wood or metal and plastic. To get anything like mahogany or oak or even cherry wood is going to cost you a pretty penny. But this is her decision, and I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just kind of like, are you sure you want to do it that way, Ma? But she's positive. We're looking at all the different furniture and trying to decide what we're going to do because this table that has been in the family for I don't know how long, the legs have been repaired twice. I think we're going to probably get rid of this table because I don't think we're going to have any room. The buffet behind me, we're talking about keeping it. My Filipino dresser, we're talking about keeping. This chest of drawers over here, we've been talking about getting rid of it for a while anyhow, so not a big deal. There's like some of the glasses and crystalware and whatnot that's in the upper parts, the glass display case. We don't know what we're doing with. We haven't talked about that yet. I think we are going to keep them because they'll either make a good display case for whatever glasses we keep. Some of the glasses were bought as just like let's get some crystal stemware stuff like that. We had been talking about storing everything except for the German wine glasses and using using it as an apothecary display type thing. We are going to keep we're going to keep the buffet, and we're going to keep a lot of we're going to keep all the apothecary crystal type stuff because depending on how deep I get into herbalism and all that stuff, I'll still be a Christian. I'll be practicing Christianity, but I'm also going to be one of those people using herbs and spices and whatnot for cure-alls and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're still working on it. In fact, as soon as I wake up more and get done with this, we're going to start on something. I don't know what, whether it's finish up in here with the corner over here and that kind of stuff, and or go into our room and start doing our room. Getting rid of furniture, getting rid of not furniture, excuse me, tchotchkes and extra clothing that we really don't need, and I have to redo my research because the temperatures. Because right now what we're looking at is in between Canyon and Northwest Pueblo. Pueblo. I have to learn how to say that name. Probably gonna have to have my phone repeated 100 times before I get it right. But we have an idea of what we want to do. And the last piece of land we looked at was almost 2 acres worth of land, which is more than enough land for 2 mobile homes and room to grow, basically room to build. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to deal with. But we've had a lot of discussions lately about that stuff, and we're getting close to locking down mobile homes. We're pretty sure we have an idea of land that we want to deal with. So I parts of me wants to get in gear and get it done, and parts of me is just like, wanting to take it easy because I don't know how much is left to deal with. I mean, I know we talked, we made we made up several different lists. One list was for here at home, for rooms to go through and things to do, and that kind of stuff. And then we made a list of we made several different lists, and they're all necessary for our move. We call it the master list because right now that's basically everything we need to do is on those lists. So it's a slow go, but we are pretty positive and adamant about what we're doing. Oh, sorry, I just thought of something Mom could do for me. To get a hold of one of her old friends from our church, see if they'll take my old Bibles. So, of course, Jerry might try to talk me into keeping 1 or 2 of them, but I already told Jerry what I was planning on doing because I don't need like 6 to 7 Bibles. I just need 1 or 2 good ones. It's 1, 2 down here, and my childhood from up there. So that's like 3, and there's 3 of them in there. So yeah, about 6 different Bibles. Though actually 7 because I didn't count the that new Bible that I have. That's basically 4 different Bible styles or Bible. What is it? The NIV, the Message, the King James, and the Living Bible or Living Word or something like that. So I kind of got that because I wanted to be able to cross-reference, the NIV, the King James, and the Message. The 4th one is something I've never read before, so I figured, whatever. But we are doing what is necessary. As for me, Jerry asked me that question last night that I was kind of like, I don't know, because we were talking about what kind of furniture do we want to keep, and I'm like, well, the bedroom set especially. She wants to get rid of her large chest of drawers because she's got hopes to she wants to be able to get one of the mobile homes with a large walk-in closet, and we're going to put the little Filipino dresser in the closet for like socks and underwear and stuff that you don't normally hang up because shirts and pants of any kind can be hung up. And I'm just like, well, I plan on downsizing a lot of clothes because I got some clothes that I don't wear no more. I got some clothes that have shrunk because of the years of washing. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of clothing involved in on my part anyhow. I don't know about Jerry Ann because she said she was going to downsize her clothes as well, and I'm like, okay, you know. But one of the pieces of furniture that I definitely want to keep, even though, um, I don't know if Mom's going to use it in her trailer or if I'm going to use it in our trailer, but I definitely am planning on keeping the H cabinet that I'm using in my bedroom because even though the backing needs to be glued back down or tacked back down with new nails or something like that, um, it's one of a kind, and I don't know anybody who would want to buy a big old cabinet with a giant H printed on two doors. You know, and I don't mean printed, but woodworked into it. I mean, it's like I said, it's one of a kind. It was handmade, you know, hand done. You know, so yeah, you know. But Mom wants to get rid of the bedroom set, which is two nightstands, a headboard, and two dressers, one tall, one long. So it's like, well, your choice. I mean, I understand why, because the less weight we have for a moving company to deal with, the less expensive it's going to get. You know, she was talking about trying to get somebody to take her little um, Mountaineer up to Colorado, so she has it. And I was like, "Are you sure you're gonna want it? I mean, are you gonna be able to drive?" She goes, "I might be able to drive during the summer months, but not during the winter months." And I was like, That's fine. I just, you know, I worry about her because of her eyesight and you know things like that. And I'm just like, I thought you stopped driving because your eyesight was going bad, but she got a new pair of glasses. You know, she went to the eye doctor, got herself a new pair of glasses, and she goes, "I don't know, I haven't driven in a long time." I said, "Well, you might want to try driving more around here before we get up to Colorado, because if you can't handle driving around here on mostly flat land, you may have some trouble out there in Colorado because it's not all flat. I mean, relatively it's flat, but you still have your you know mountain passes and roads to deal with." And she's like, "Well, I don't plan on doing, you know, I only plan on going into town and doing what I have to and coming home." And I'm like, "Okay, well, that's why in September we're going up there to look at the area of the last piece of land that we saw, which was, I forgot what the price was. I think the price was like 50 or $60,000 for 1 point. It was like 1 3/4 worth of land, you know, something like that, maybe a little bit more. I think it was 1.84 or something like that. But we're doing good. We're doing fine. I started researching shops last night, and my wife goes, "Why?" I said, "I want to see what kind of shops they have, you know, near either in Canyon or in Pueblo West, Pueblo. I don't know. I have a hard time with new, you know, names like that. Um, just because their spelling in my brain wants to, you know, it sounds like this, but it looks like that, you know. So I speak phonetically, I guess. But you know, I'm at that stage where it's like, no, I'm not tired of doing what we need to do around here because I understand the necessity of dealing with this house and our belongings and what we're going to do with this and what we're going to do with that and da 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 da. So I'm kind of like, if um if and well, not when, but or if, it's more like when we get out there, um I want to know what kind of like gym shops, my kind of shops. Um, Heck, I might even find a group of people who get together at a comic store and play D&D. I don't know, you know. Yes, I know it kind of seems weird that, you know, a 51-year-old man wants to play D&D. I started out in my teens playing, you know, Dungeons and Dragons, or Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Second Edition. We're now at fifth edition. You know, whole new set of rules and character options and all that fun stuff. So it's that, and you know, yesterday I was looking at online and I found um, a shop called Mountain Wookie or Mountain Wookiees, and I looked at it. It's a combination of new age and like weapons, axes and swords and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I might go in and look at it, but if it's not, you know, I don't need any weapons. You know, I wouldn't be going in there for weapons. I'd be going in there for the either new age type stuff, or if it's got camping supplies, you know, that would be interesting to me. Otherwise, you know, I don't know what they got out there for me, you know, that I wanted to, that, you know, I didn't get to look at the first time around. But, when we get, this time we're definitely going for the full week, if not more. It really depends on Jerry Ann and how much we want to put into staying at a hotel. Because, I mean, hotels in the first place are kind of pricey, especially this time of year because it's tourist season. So you're gonna have to deal with a lot of tourists when we get out there, because it'll be towards the end of the summer tourists, and September. Most kids are back in school, so it's basically um, empty nesters or people from who knows, you know, what countries, you know, or what parts of the world, you know, either empty nesters or single people, you know, so. But usually during the tourist season, it's a little less expensive because they've got a surplus of people wanting to stay at hotels. And, you know, we had, I don't know if we thought about it, but I know at one point in time we thought about renting an RV and going, you know, going out there and staying at a RV camp, or, you know, someplace like that. Um, we're also talking about this time around not to bring the dog because the dog was more distracting than, you know, we thought it was. She was going to be. Excuse me. That, and unless you get a hotel that's got a lot of green around it or places to walk a dog, you know, it's kind of difficult to take the dog out because, you know, granted, we did find that one dog park in Pueblo, um, Pueblo, I think, I don't know, but so we know there is a dog park in a lot of different areas of that region. So, you know, but I was like, not to be rude, and even Jerry was like, you know, talking about seeing if our friend could take care of the dog, and we'd take the dog to him the day before we go to leave, you know. That way, it's a combination. We get plenty of sleep, and I don't get woken up there early in the morning to take her out for a walk. But it is one of the many things we're discussing right now. Granted, we won't be going back up there until late September due to we have some early September doctor's appointments. In fact, I've got one that I hope does not cause problems with our plans. I have one is in Springfield for some reason instead of locally, to have my shoulder, my right shoulder looked at, and my L3, L4, L5, S1, because those are the 4 discs that are causing problems. Now, I actually saw something advertised on the internet on, can't remember if it was, no, it wasn't Facebook, so it had to be Instagram. They showed this back belt that basically you pump it and it literally stretches your back out gently to help straighten out the lower spine. And I was like, ooh, wonder how much one of those would cost and where would I go to get one? Because right now we're trying to, right now we've tightened our belts mostly because we're trying to save up money for our trip and then our move. Mom says she didn't say how much, but she says she's probably got enough to get, not only to take the second trip to Colorado, but to put money down on land and possibly trailers. And I'm like, that's a hefty little amount of money. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that because you don't have enough money, blah, blah, blah. Well, once again, Mom's a God save, or God's using Mom to save us all. But we had talked about it. We had talked about it many moons ago. And Mom is like me. Why save it? You can't take it with you when you die. You can only just pass it down to your children or nieces and not nieces and nephews. Nieces and nephews, because Uncle Dave has his Uncle Dave and Aunt Joyce have their son, and he has, my cousin Philip has 2 girls and a boy, and then there's my beloved deceased cousin Michelle has her son, who just recently, I think he just recently, or is getting ready to get married, and then her daughter, who has her physical, mental issues. I mean, I hate using the word, but I mean, in terms, she's basically, I hate saying retarded, but she's not really retarded. She's got health issues. I mean, both mentally and physically, but she's a good kid. And the son, Skylar, has been taking care of her ever since my cousin Michelle passed away. So I just hope that when he gets married that he can still take care of, God, I don't remember her name. Such a bad cousin. I can't remember her name. Barely remember Skylar's name. But she's a good kid, and I hope Skylar can keep an eye on her even after being married, because from what I understand, the stepmother, after their father got remarried, and her stepmother came with kids, stepmommy is not exactly the greatest person, to take care of Skylar and, oh God, Katie. Caitlin, Katie, Kit Kat. Kit Kat's her nickname. Took me a second to remember the name. But Katie's a sweet kid. I mean, I just feel sorry that they had to lose their mom at such a young age. I'm even more sorry and upset that the stepmom treats Katie like basically, like she doesn't even exist, and gets mad when Katie gets in the middle of stuff. And that's why when I found out I found out what was going on, I was going to ask my aunt if she can help me with a way of basically adopting, you know, my cousin's kids, because I know my wife would be very, well trained and whatnot from her job how to take care of Katie, and I would have to learn, you know, how to take care of both kids, you know. But just it is what it is. Jerry's dealt with, mentally, physically handicapped children and adults. So I know Jerry would be great with Katie. I would have to learn how to deal with it, because I've never dealt with somebody with that kind of medical need or personal needs or anything like that all my life. I've never dealt with them until I got married with Jerry, and even then, I was just kind of like, "Ain't my job." I've talked with him. I've helped him with hanging stuff or projects of one form or another while in New York, and I'm not gonna say it's not easy. Yeah, it's a bit of a task. There's a lot of how do you put it? There's a lot of need with the handicapped person. Jerry's not exactly handicapped, but she sure can act like it. So it's one of those, like, how do you cope with that kind of stuff? But again, Skylar's in his 20s. I think Katie is in her late teens. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've asked questions about Katie. Usually because it's like, it reminds me of the times growing up where when we were overseas, we would get holiday postcards and maybe a gift package. And usually from my aunt, it was like a couple small gifts and some homemade chocolate or popcorn or something like that. So it was, and it was even worse with my side of the family, because my side of the family, we may have gotten a postcard, while we were in Arkansas, or Germany, and when we got from Germany and moved to, was basically shipped to Arizona, Phoenix. A lot of the family members that I now know, I didn't know, because either I was too young to remember them from when we lived in Tucson. Shortly after my dad got out of Thailand, we were in Tucson. I barely remember Tucson, so how would I remember, my dad's side of the family in Arizona, because I was too young, or my memory just has basically, that part of my memory has been filed away as, too old to remember, too old to remember the 70s, let alone the 80s. Yeah, I remember some of the good stuff from the 80s, but that was actually the first time I ever remember being out of country, because when you're a toddler, you don't remember moving from the Philippine Islands to Gerald, Missouri um, to Tucson. Um, so all I have to remember those times were stories from mom. Um, my father's stories, I've learned to take with a grain of salt, because my father was a very excellent storyteller. So you can never tell what was real and what wasn't. So everything that I remember dad saying or whatnot, I have to, take with a grain of salt or question it through mom. But I'm afraid that I've inherited my dad's gift for storytelling, but I'm not good at being able to not get caught. So I learned not to do it. Because if you get caught, it's senseless. Because it's like, okay, yeah, I got to backtrack and tell you the truth and try to remember the truth. And I'll be honest. I mean, yeah, in the beginning, there were a couple times where I told stories that weren't real, but that's because I didn't remember the whole thing, and I had to add bits and pieces to it from don't know where it came from. To be honest with you, um, but yeah, my stories of Germany were real, because I remember them very vividly. Um, anything before Germany is kind of a mishmash of what was memory and what was fantasy, type thing. Because I have a very vivid and a very good imagination, and it's great for telling stories when you're telling stories. But when you're trying to talk truth, it's not so good, because you got to fight to remember what was what and how it was and who was who and what was happening. But then it's like, okay, did that really happen, or was that something I imagined? But Germany, Phoenix, Arizona in general, because we moved around Phoenix, and it was like two places in an area of Phoenix that I don't remember what it was called. I think it was called South Phoenix, South Central Phoenix. When we got back from Germany, and then there was Mesa, Arizona. Mesa, Arizona's address was kind of funny, because it was 6660. Yeah, we had a few people, make comments about that, and it's like, okay, sure, whatever. And then there was Paradise Valley, where I graduated from high school. And then after Paradise Valley, it was moved out here to Missouri. We stayed, when we first got out here, we stayed in a really bad house in Dixon, or Jerome, I think it was um, Jerome, Missouri. And then we went from Jerome to here in Rolla, then from Rolla to St. James, and then St. James back to Rolla. Then I moved to New York, got married, and then mom came out to New York for a short period of time, did not like it, went back here to Rolla. Then all the fun stuff between her father passing away, Superstorm Sandy, it kind of pushed us out of New York. We've been wanting to leave New York anyhow for a couple of years, and then Sandy came along and went, okay, time to go. And then we moved out here to Rolla. And here we are getting ready to move to Colorado. And I think Colorado is going to be our last major move, because one, I feel like, when we were out there last time, I just felt like home. Didn't want to go, didn't want to leave. Didn't want to come back here to do whatever. And then when everybody jumped on the same page of let's move to Colorado, it was beautiful out there. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. We looked up the weather, the yearly annual weather, and said, winter is in the upper 40s, lower 50s. Yeah, we can handle that. That's warmer than out here in Rolla. But I think what it is we're going to move out there, and in a couple years or so, when money is a whole lot better, that's when we may get an RV so we can travel around, or if the RV is big enough and Mom wants to go with us, we're thinking a possible rental place out here, and something small enough for Mom, because me and Jerry can live in the RV for as I'm concerned. Don't know though, because the two of us plus the dog, who knows. I might end up having to sleep in the overhead bunk just to get away from the dog. But that's a couple years down the line, so I'm not worried about it right now. I'm glad we have ideas for future plans and whatnot. But see, the thing is we don't know if Mom's going to be comfortable enough during the wintertime in Colorado. Because I am pretty sure during the summertime she will have either she will not have the air conditioner on and have her windows and whatnot open, but she will probably most likely have her trailer as warm as she wants it, which will be too hot for me or Jerry. And I'm sure me and Jerry will have the when it gets too warm, have the heat, our air conditioning set at like 68, during the daytime, and 64 at night, because that's when we're both, in the same bed, I don't know why I do this, but my body has this weird thermometer thing where at nighttime, my body temperature rises. Most normal people, it goes down. Mine goes up. It's a medically proven fact, as well as I used to be able to play hooky when I wanted to, until my mom and dad caught on and going, "Hey kid, we don't know how the temperature is going up on this thermometer, but you are not sick." They realized, that's just normal. Oh, this kid wakes up with, normal body temperature at like, what is it, 90, whatever normal is, but mine is like 2 or 3 degrees above normal when I first wake up. So, yeah. That's why I'm like, we may not have windows open, and I may have an extra fan blowing on me when I'm sleeping. Don't know. But we've got all kinds of plans for Colorado, and how we're going to set up the RVs and the garage and our decking and all that kind of fun stuff. And I can't wait. I really can't. But anyhow, this has been almost 40 minutes. I'm sorry, folks. I've just been in a very chatty mood. So I will let you guys go. If you enjoyed this little vlog, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, go right ahead, put it in. I will deal with them. I've been a lot of people have given me advice about the negative peoples and whatnot, and I'm not dealing with them anymore. I've come to the conclusion that if they're not happy, they're not happy. There's nothing I can say or do to make them happy. But if you're new to my channel and you choose to subscribe, which is up to you, go ahead and hit the little bell, or the little subscription button, and a bell will pop up, and click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I have a a new video up. So until next time, you guys have a good day. Bye.